Hello, this is Tifa85, and we're gonna play some CIMA the Enemy. I'm sticking with the default name. I think Ark's a cool name, and, well, there's no one else we can name, so I can't make some silly parody. We're gonna start with a little bit of backstory, not even that much. This game doesn't have too much backstory to it. The characters and their interactions far make up for it then. This is Jester. We don't know too much about who he is yet, and nor will we ever know too much about who S-Wood is, other than the fact that he's the chief of this factory. They are both working for the Gate Guardians. S-Wood mentions the purple and light. They're a type of majesty. Majesties are used in this game as item synthesis. But purple and light are special. They'll come up again, but not in too much. Now we're at the 7th level of the factory. We're going to meet some scientists who, they're really just here to mention the research. We're never going to find out too much about what this research is, other than stuff we might be able to guess from information found later in the game. This LP has actually been 2 years in the running. I was researching this game to hell and back. I was studying things about the English version, the Japanese version. Every little nuance about this game that one could know, I managed to figure. Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff I don't know yet, though. And here is Majesties. For the most part, we're not going to see a Majesty this big again, although there is exceptions, but it's a boss battle gimmick rather than anything we're going to use. And we mentioned the plug in the base. Now, we don't know what those are yet. They're going to come up again in the plot. Now, they're talking about CIMA. CIMA are aliens from another dimension who attack humans. And something about the singularity. We don't know too much about that and what happens with it and what it's going to do and what they want to do with it. Oh, we're going to find out by the end of the game. That's one of those things that we're not going to find out for a long time. Anyway, our scene switches to a train. This is the Blue Creek. And since they're heading west on the first immigration group, I kind of set this game to be an alternate reality Earth on the Transcontinental Railroad. Yeah. It's just a weird little headcanon thing. This is Ivy. Ivy's your partner, and she and Ark really don't get along too well right now. Basically, Ivy has been trained to be a gate guardian for a month longer. Yeah. And Ark's 8 months older, so they both are immature. He's 18, she's 17. They're a little, like I said, they're immature. They have to basically get over all this silliness throughout the game. If I could have named them, I would have named them Wayne and Cena after the cast of characters from Luffy of the Legend Returns, just because they have the same dynamic. Anyway, Jester is their mentor. That's the one other thing we're going to know about him. This is Gene. He's one of the 14 pioneers, and he's a doctor. He makes potion Bs, but they're a dime a dozen in treasure chests, but he also is the best at making potion As and Bs. So, I mean, he makes potion Cs. Why did I say potion Bs? That's because I always use him to make potion Bs. That's his son, Halle. Halle is the brave young kid. He's very helpful to your group. And when we get to use him in gameplay, I'll get more into it, but right now we tell it Jester is one of the 6 best Gate Guardians. Ark and Ivy trust him a lot. The Pioneers trust him a lot. Gee. Those two. Like I said, they remind me of Wayne and Cena from Luffy of the Legend Return a bit, except Ark is smart enough to make comebacks, and Wayne just usually yelled, "Hey! Stop it!" That's Eberle. She's Gene's wife and Halle's mother. She also can make potion A's and B's for very cheap. And Halle wants to be a Gate Guardian when he grows up. Emmy is his little sister. sister. Emmy is very, very much not that brave, but she is, gets over it. This is Phyllis. Phyllis is she's 16, so she's the only other teenager on board. This is her mother, Telmia. Telmia is actually a widow, but you have to read one of those character books down at the bottom to do it. Find out. This is Doug. He's a blacksmith. He doesn't like gate guardians. His wife Elena's a lot more helpful in the sense of trying to keep the peace, but Doug doesn't help much either. Claude is the conductor, and talking to him is one of the 2 things you have to do to move the scene along. They purposely make the 2 people you have to talk to be the entire train apart, just so you could have the opportunity to talk to everybody. Jester, saying that is never a smart thing. Ural, there's a priest. And this is Shelly. Shelly is probably one of the most awesome characters personality-wise. Just because she's probably also the only sensible one of her 4 friends. Ivy? Yeah, I tend to get her stuck on the train cars a lot. It's Rick. He's a cowardly magician, which means he's so much fun. And Diana is his fiancée. I'm trying to still figure it out. This is Vanros. He's the leader of the Pioneers, and the other person you have to talk to get the scene moving. He's also a bit of a cynic, which means you're going to have to deal with that and the stuff that will come of that for the rest of the game. Well, that's not good. Like I said, talking to Claude and Vanros is what gets this to happen. Now, I'm not going to talk to everyone, even though their dialogue is going to change. Just because, well, pretty much, I don't want to spend all the time doing it. But I will talk to one person in a bit, because it's going to be the only time we're going to see that. Said Claude would know the best, considering he is the conductor. Oh, lovely. That does look, that sky does not look too good. And that portal really doesn't look too good! Oh, wonderful. Like I said, it's a video game. You know you can't get away without having to fight the enemy they've been talking about since the start. But before we talk to Jester and give our report, this is an amusing conversation that I really like. Yeah, a lot of Pioneers will ask that, and Ark is going to tell them this, but Diana's the only one who will call him on the fact that it has to be CIMA if it's a gate. It's because she has a bit of a mouth on her. Take note of this. It's the only time Rick is going to show anything resembling a backbone when it comes to Diana. Of course, Diana's used to that, so she is willing to yell at him again. And she shoves us out of this little premarital spat to go deal with the mess. Yeah, misplaced capitalization. I've been playing Natsume's translations for so long that I kind of am used to it. It's still not as bad as some of the stuff in Lufia The Legend Returns. Or glitching a major area in Lufia 2. And I like those games, so I won't give them too much flack. Now, everyone's got to hold on to the seats, hopefully. And I'm hoping to God that they're just walking forward and not falling into their faces, because, well, it's the graphics, they really can't just show them falling on their faces. Actually, they do have an unconscious, and Rick is having a freak out. Yeah, thank you, Diana. I agree with you for once. And I like Rick. It's just that it's obvious that you should really hold on to things. Well, where do you think happened, you two? It's a video game, of course you have to learn on the job. CIMA put us on the moon, it looks like. Well, it's a floating island in some kind of space. Don't know if they made it this way for fun, or if all the places in the gate world look like this. Because this is the only part of the gate world we're going to see. What do you think it is? It's the final dungeon. Needless to say, we're not going to get there right away. We have to go through a lot of little dungeons first. Yeah. And that's what they call it, the gate world. Yeah, very simplistic naming. Oh, lovely. They're energy vampires. Hope, eh? Usually energy vampires are after negative emotions. Yep. True. Basically, that means we can get out. We don't have to run screaming the other way. Well, Rick, I agree with you. And I'm not scared like you are. Well, that's obvious to say. And now we're going to enter the first dungeon. However, I'm going to stop it right here, on the sole fact that it'll be best to start fresh when the dungeon begins. Tune in next time when I have a little special something, the first of my appendixes, and after that, we will take on the first dungeon. See ya!